Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for checking this out. Today is July 3rd and we're doing a daily love and relationship reading. So tomorrow is 4th of July, Independence Day. It's also a full moon lunar eclipse. So when I was getting ready today, I felt very witchy. That's why I'm wearing this and this. I don't know. I choose what I wear based on how I feel and what I am drawn to, and sometimes I can't explain it. One day I'll be wearing like workout clothes and no makeup, and the next day I'll be wearing something like this. So yeah, that's just how I express myself. And it's fun to tap into those different types of energies, different, I want to say personalities, because that sounds kind of crazy. Like, I'm not crazy, but we all have different aspects of our personality. And yeah, it's fun to express those sometimes. Anyway, so full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn tomorrow. I will be doing a separate reading for the full moon, but I do that through Patreon. My friend and I created an online community. It's called Woke Wild Women. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you wouldn't know about that. Anyways, we started a podcast. We kind of wrapped that up just because it kind of just felt like it was coming to a close. But we do new moon and full moon tarot card readings together. We plan them together, and then what she does is she creates an embodiment practice. So a lot of yoga, or gentle flow, breathing techniques, all of that kind of stuff. So I'll have that link below if you want to check out our Patreon account, which is where we put the card readings and the embodiment practices, and that will be uploaded tomorrow, and so you can have that for tomorrow. I try to provide some guidance on how to interpret the energy and what's happening, and then what tools or practices you can use to work through it, whatever is coming up. So anyways, yeah, it's full moons have emotions and lots of things coming to the surface, so we're more easily able to tap into energy. Like, people who may not consider themselves to be super sensitive may be affected by it. Well, I mean, we're all affected by it, whether we realize it or not. But the point is that if you are in tune with energy and you do this work daily, and you are paying attention, you already know that that's what's happening. But sometimes people who aren't, in that kind of world, who don't immerse themselves in energy and astrology and moon cycles and all that, they're still feeling it, and things are still coming up. So, all right, I felt the need to just keep shuffling and talking. So, what do we have first? We have the Death card. So this is death and rebirth, that cycle of transformation. It also represents Scorpio. Scorpio is a very intense sign. I did hear Scorpio when this came out, but it also transformation. So maybe there's a Scorpio in your life, or you are a Scorpio, or there's Scorpio in your chart somewhere, your birth chart. That could be affecting you at the moment. And then we have the Ace of Cups, which is an offer of love, an opportunity, a new beginning in love. But it can also represent self-love, like your cup is running over, like you're so full that your cup is running over. And that's how when we're able to give, is we learn how to fill our own cup, and then it becomes so full that it just kind of spills out, right? And then that's what we're giving to everyone else. So if our cup isn't full, if we don't know how to fill our own cup, we don't have anything to give. That's important. Then we have the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords it's about deception and being sneaky and just kind of fuckery happening. And it's swords, so it's thoughts, logic, someone playing mind games, basically. I'm not feeling super clear on these cards and how they're playing together. This type of energy, like Sorry, I apologize for the long silences. I'm just attempting to, let me go through all 6 first. Then we have the Four of Pentacles, which is about being guarded, being closed off, holding on to something too tightly. Not allowing yourself to be open to give and receive. It's like you could be very afraid of losing something, very afraid that if you were to open up or like give something away, or my cat. I really hope he doesn't try to jump up here. Being afraid of the consequences. And then therefore, when you're like that, instead you just juggle, you try to juggle what you have rather than being open to abundance and receiving. So I feel like, nope, sorry. I had to tell Mike, don't jump up here. It will not be good for you. Okay, this is what I'm getting. So you notice how I like keep getting distracted, or I'm like things that you're afraid things are going to come in and mess things up. Like, I'm afraid my cat's going to jump up here and mess up all of my cards and the reading and whatnot. No. So this is how I feel like this is this energy, and why I was like, no. Look, lay in your box right here. Lay in your box right here. Lay right there. So I apologize. This is what's going to be needed, like constant distraction. I feel like this is what this energy, the deception is like the distractions, like anything you get distracted by when it comes to say no. When you're going through a transformation and you open yourself up when you're doing that, don't. And you're working on your self-love and filling your own cup, no. And then distractions will inevitably come in. And, you know, people like to call it tests, or, you know, you learning your lessons. And that's maybe that, you know, if that's your perspective, that's fine. I think that happens sometimes. But then it's like, then it causes you to do this, like to close up, to hold on to things tightly. Oh, see? As soon as well, you can't see. Well, now you can. Stop, Cheeto. Here. Go behind there and go sit up on your thing. Okay. Yeah, see, this is going to keep happening. This is going to keep happening. Like, as you go through your transformation, like, I feel like it needs to be said that it's not always going to be sunshine and roses. Like, you're going to start feeling good. You know, you're going to be taking really good care of yourself. The old patterns and stories and ways of being and thinking are going to sneak back in to try to entice you into... Okay, that's what he's trying to... Okay, go ahead. Go jump up there. Trying to get you to give in again. Go ahead, Cheeto. Go ahead. There we go. But if you can be graceful about it, well, and so I don't necessarily think that this is like a bad energy. Like, sometimes it's good to be closed off in terms of like energetic boundaries. I feel like that's more what it is. And so then I didn't talk about this card. So then we have the last 2 cards are both about balance and juggling. But like this one's more about transmutation, but it's still about figuring out how to create that balance, the alchemical process of balance. But this is like with your emotions and energy, and this is more like in the physical world, balancing things in the physical world, because it's pentacles. And I feel like there's a message that is like, it's okay to have energetic boundaries. And when it comes to relationships, whether that's a relationship with yourself, so maybe there's like a part of you that likes to fuck with you, and wherever that came from, could come from past, you know, maybe. Here's the thing. If this happened to us early on in life, like being treated a certain way, being conditioned to if you were gaslit, if you were, you know, kind of the victim of like abuse or neglect early on in life, that stuff kind of sticks with you and it becomes your internal voice. And so you identify with that, and you kind of, that aspect is always there, kind of messing with you as you try to grow and mature and learn and do things differently. So it's tricky because I want to say it's an aspect of ourselves, but really it's just a learned behavior, a way of thinking. And so it's like having energetic boundaries with yourself, with that aspect of yourself that wants to tell you those negative stories, or like you're a piece of shit, or, you know, you're not worthy of this and you can't do that and you're never going to amount to anything. The one that compares us to other people, all of those negative, really low vibrational things. It's okay to have energetic boundaries with yourself. It's like it's having discipline. And then again, also it's like extend that into relationships. So like people who are used to maybe you giving up yourself for them and doing things for them all the time. My cat, I need to have energetic boundaries with my cat. Like he just, you know, it'll show up in your life and you'll know, like you'll understand if this message is for you. It's kind of telling you that, and it's like the more work you and healing and self-love and care that you do for yourself, the more you're going to radiate and be magnetic to other people. They're going to see you and they're going to want to like be in your energy. So that's another reason to hold good, strong energetic boundaries. And that happens by noticing who's coming in, what's playing in your head, and how it makes you feel, you know, and is it making you feel good? If it's making you feel like you want to close off and like run the other way, then trust that. And make sure that you are staying firm in those boundaries. It's like, so I'm looking at, we're going from the Four of Pentacles to the Two of Pentacles, and I feel like it's like he had to get rid of these two. Maybe he got rid of these two down here. But the point is like getting rid of things, like stop holding other people's shit. Stop, you know, get rid of physical things that you don't need in your life, that you don't use. Get rid of your emotional baggage. Don't hold on to things that you don't need. And then you'll have less to juggle. And then eventually you'll be just focusing on those two things, you know, or just like the minimal amount of things that you need to focus on for your own well-being. And you master that, and you won't have to absorb so much. You won't have to take on so much. I feel like there's this message to like take on less. I hope this is coming through clear. because I was feeling witchy, I'm gonna use my cat tarot, because cats are a witch's best friend. My cat is not my best friend, but he's my buddy, even when he's being a butthole. Let's see what the kitties want to say. What do the kitties want to say to us? What messages do they have? I mean, because cats are selfish. They get labeled as selfish. They're really just self-serving. And they know how to get what they want, right? They will bug the fuck out of you until they get what they want. So we can learn from them. But we also have to learn what not to do from them, because they're also super curious. They get themselves into stupid situations. And often we're like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? You look like a retard, right? Oh my God, Temperance came out again. That's, okay, so Temperance is a big message. I'll read this one from the book. I don't think I've ever pulled this one, actually. Got two Temperance here. See? So the Temperance card, the essential meanings are, it's about the angel of patience. I think it represents Sagittarius energy. Holy fuck, that scared me. He jumped up above me. Hi. You're so cute. Now my son's calling me. And he, yeah. Kingston, I'm still recording. Okay, just a minute. What? You have food that I gave you before I started. So, working from home life. And then we have the Ace of Swords that came out with it. So another ace, another opportunity, new beginning. And I believe this one came out in yesterday's reading or one of the other ones from this week. So lots of new beginnings and opportunities happening. And I feel like it's all just with ourselves, like getting clarity with ourselves, getting, you know, a new way of loving ourselves, that kind of thing. I'll just do 3. And then we have, oh, the 2 of Cups. Beautiful. All right, so when we learn how to stand in our own truth, that's the Ace of Swords to me, or to like also surrender to, like, what I'm hearing is surrender, because look at this cat. He's like allowing the the human to clip his nails, right? And so what I was just talking about with cats and their personalities and their, or I don't want to say their personality, every animal I believe has their own personality, because I do believe animals have souls. But especially ones that we domesticate, like dogs and cats. What was I gonna say? So how they are is they can be a little bit overbearing sometimes. They can be too demanding, like to the point of like bullying you into getting what they want. And it's like you can train a cat, but it just takes a lot longer than a dog, honestly. I trained my cat to stop trying to jump into the shower with me. And finally, after a long while, he stopped. So you just have to be consistent with it, and you have to hold that boundary. Sorry, he's walking above me. So it's about surrendering, and I feel like that's this energy, maybe like this very strong cat-like energy that's within us, which is very a feminine energy of not backing down, of not stopping until we get what we want. Sometimes we have to surrender to things that are good for us, and that means like, look, you need to have your nails cut. Doesn't matter if you don't like it. And then that's this temperance energy too, is like learning how to because what I'm feeling is the automatic is to get angry and to get like aggressive or like attack or run away. It's like in survival mode, that fight or flight or freeze puts us in that energy when we can't surrender. We want to be on the defense. But when we can learn how to alchemize the emotions that are happening within us, with that, instead of shutting them off or giving in to them, that's what I feel the temperance energy is. And then what is after that is the 2 of Cups, and this is about love and harmony. And it's like, when you're able to do that, look, you're able to live peacefully and harmoniously with other people. So, and especially this is a love and relationship reading. So if you're looking to call in a love relationship, that saying is like, you kind of have to surrender to some things that maybe you've been stubborn about. Learn how to process and alchemize your emotions. Sorry, I just get like scared that he's gonna like I don't know. He does crazy shit. Cats are weird. That he's gonna like try to jump up on top of my partition thing here and then land on my head. So anyways, yeah, I feel like that this is some advice on how to have that, how you're going to be able to be in that harmonious, reciprocal love relationship, which is the 2 of Cups. Okay, so I want to read the Temperance card from this book. Temperance is number 14. Yeah. Temperance reminds us that nothing is more satisfying than exercising self-restraint, except perhaps where fish are concerned. Upright, it says, moderation in all things, even seafood. The water in and outside of the bowl represents the spotless satisfaction that results from balanced behavior. The rays represent angelic equanimity. Go with the flow, not the trickle, not the flood. Yeah, patience can get results. So it's about balancing, learning how to live moderately and balanced and not oscillating between one extreme or the other, not the trickle and not the flood, right? So what's in between that? A steady stream. So we're learning not to be greedy, and then we're also learning not to be so closed off. Okay, so that makes sense actually a lot. is like, this is the greediness, and then this is being like closed off. Like, these are the two extremes. Like, you're super greedy, taking everything that you can, even if it means you're hurting other people or deceiving other people. And then there's this where it's like you're not opening up at all, or being you know, you're just holding on to everything too tightly and not giving anything away or not allowing anything out. So it's about finding that middle ground. So you have to do that with yourself before you can call in an equal partnership. And you're going to want, because you're not going to want to call in a relationship when you're experiencing this, when you're still trying to master this for yourself, because then you're going to get the vibration that of that in somebody else, and it's going to be frustrating for you when you're trying to do it for yourself and like they're trying to do it for themselves. That's why we have to work on ourselves first before we actually call in like a life partnership that's going to last, that you're going to be able to work through. And so you're also going to want to be with somebody who has done this work too and meets you where you're at. So I'm going to leave the tarot there. Let's do this my power of surrender cards. Let's see what we can surrender to. Surrender stubbornness. This came out yesterday or the day before. If you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. This is this energy. Allowing your nails to be clipped. Where do you need to clip your nails, kitty cat? Where are you being stubborn? Where you know that what you're doing is not good for you, but you're still doing it anyway. Let's get one more. Where are you resisting when you know that you don't need to anymore, basically? It's time to get real with yourself. Hashtag real talk today. And, you know, coming up on a full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn, which is an earth sign, which is very practical, and it's all about planning and hard work. Now is the perfect time for you to actually make these changes, because that energy is there. Surrender to joy. Yeah. You see how these are two very opposite energies too? Stubbornness and joy, like just being completely free and open. A key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling. During both the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. I mean, shit's gonna happen in our lives. Everyone has difficult times, no matter what it is. You know, it's all perspective whether someone's situation is more difficult than ours. You got to learn how to laugh at things and move through it in a way that's enjoyable, because why? Like, what's the point of making yourself angry all the time? You know, is that really going to help things? Like getting frustrated, you know, I don't know. Faith, humanity, and benevolence. Okay, just one. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, see the light in the world. It's very blue, very throat chakra and third eye, but I'm feeling more throat. Okay, stay calm and breathe. You are a divine being of love who has done so much good in the world. You may be going through personal transformations and feel that you're not getting anywhere, but Archangel Faith is drawing close to guide you beyond the limitations that your ego or fears have created for you. You may be trying to work out whom to trust. First, trust yourself. When you do this and recognize that you are made of love, you will attract those who reflect that love and can enjoy true friendships and loving relationships. Know that good is here to stay. So this is like kind of going off what I just said about you have to be who you want to be first with yourself before you can attract those types of relationships, whether it's love or business partnerships or friendships, whatever it is you're looking for. You first have to do that with yourself. So if you don't see the good in yourself, how are you going to see the good in other people, and how are the other people going to be able to see the good in you? You know, it's the law of attraction. All right, so I'm gonna do my Isis cards. This is my Isis Oracle. That one. Mother of Life. When life seems dry, depleted, filled with repetitive tasks, or simply stagnant and stifled, Isis, the mother of life, holds the ability to revive even the most numb, resistant, and difficult circumstances in your life. She calls to you now, seeking to bestow gifts of life upon you. Be bold and brave. Open your arms and receive. I don't know how I was holding that, but yeah. I feel like there's this element of, you're not trusting that what you want will actually come in and you'll actually see it manifest. If that's the case, where are you not trusting yourself? Like, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of if it does come in? That you're going to fuck it up, that you're going to deny it and push it away, sabotage it. So, we have to always look at ourselves and see whatever it is we're afraid of. Why are we afraid of that? And are we fully trusting ourselves? Ooh, that one. This one, I need to get one of these because this has been coming out lately. Serpentine. Okay, what is it? A limed kale green stone with a reptilian appearance. Serpentine's activating energy is like a deep exfoliation treatment for the spiritual self. Who needs it? Kundalini yogis, anyone in need of a fresh start. Where to put it during meditation, hold serpentine in each hand and concentrate on circulating energy from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. That's like Kundalini energy. When to use it? When it's time to let go of tired beliefs and get stuck energy unstuck. If serpentine arrives in your life, it's an invitation to rip off all proverbial band-aids and regroup. Hit the sauna, sweat it out, and release all lingering drama. Awaken your reptilian nature. A lot of people are afraid of reptilian because that's the very primitive, primal, survival instinct part of our brain, but we all have that, and sometimes I think we deny it or we want to push it away because we think that it can cause it, because there's a lack of humanity, which is like emotions, but we are human, so we're not only reptilian, so therefore we have access to both. And I feel like it's maybe stating that are you allowing yourself that access to give in to those primitive primal desires or wants and needs? Specifically, I was gonna say sexual. I heard don't talk about that, so I'm not gonna talk about that. Never mind. Okay, in the near future. Okay, what's happening in the near future? I guess whatever you're asking about, whatever you're wanting to come in, it says in the near future, and I'll read this. Forgiveness. First, forgiveness, though. So I'll read first because I feel like there needs to be some forgiveness first before you can allow in what it is that you want. Whether it's generally us forgiving ourselves. Because this is how I see it. We can forgive someone for actions that they've done if it was hurtful to us, but we also played a part in allowing ourselves to feel hurt, which is giving our power to that person to hurt us. So it's all about forgiving yourself, even if it's somebody else you perceived has hurt you. Those feelings are always coming from us. It's not coming from the other person. They may have done things to trigger those feelings within us, and maybe it was completely out of our, we just got victimized and whatever. Like, that does happen. However, you can't stay in that victim energy and think, oh, poor me, like, why did that happen to me? You have to, stand up and get angry and get mad and be like, no, and fight back and be like, no, fuck this. You don't get to determine how I feel about myself or how I feel about the situation. You don't get to hurt me, because guess what? No one hurts me but myself, and that's how you take your power back. And so it's always about forgiving ourselves. So I'm going to read this. Forgiveness. Forgiveness can work miracles. When you release the past, a weight is lifted from your shoulders, and a sense of freedom washes over you. Ask your angels to help you let go of sadness or pain caused by others so that you can be free. See, if we're holding on to what other people did and not forgiving them, it's just creating more issues for us. Like, anger is such a disease because we're the ones who are suffering, not the other person that we're angry at. This card can also refer to a need for self-forgiveness. See? It's time to let go of any guilt you are holding on to regarding past mistakes you may have made. And again, A mistake could have just been staying too long in a situation you could have gotten out of, allowing your boundaries to be, you know, allowing yourself not to have boundaries, that kind of thing. Give yourself credit for having tried your best, even if the results weren't what you would have liked. Focus on the changes you've made since then that have made you a better person. Exactly. I feel like there's an energy of like, it's there already and you probably have seen this, but it's like, this is what, you know, in the near future. So I feel like this card's representing like what this full moon eclipse is helping us release. What you're asking about will occur very soon, so you won't have to wait much longer. Stay optimistic and continue upon your current path. Be open to receiving. A lot about open to receiving. And being closed off. So make sure you're opening up, and when you do that, you're going to open up to things that you may not want to feel. You're going to have to forgive whatever's there, yourself and other people, if that's what you want to do. But I'd say more, just focus on yourself. And I feel like this in the near future is like whatever you're asking about. If you had a specific question, is this person coming in? Is that job? Or, you know, whatever in the near future. But you have to be open to receiving, and then you have to forgive and let go of some things from the past before that can happen. So if you would like to work with me and get your own personal reading or do coaching, you can visit my website. The link is below. Follow me on Instagram at Empowering Authenticity. You can email me with any questions or comments just to let me know how this resonated for you at empoweringyourouthenticity@gmail.com. And you can also just comment here on YouTube. And then I'll link the Patreon account for my Woke Wild Women community, where I will have the full moon and Capricorn reading up tomorrow. So I'm sending you guys so much love. Bye.